right. Okay. Hey guys, everybody. All right. So, hey everybody. I think we got it all figured out, and I hope everything looks like everything is working. So, I am so excited to be doing this live with you tonight, especially because mindset's such a big buzzword right now. Healing yourself, a healing journey. It's so helpful to get past the trauma and the toxicity that we've all kind of learned in different ways. It comes in different ways, and so it's not just one way. And I wanted to share with you guys tonight. I'm just going to dive right into it, and excited for anybody who can join us live, but also who is joining us on the replay. So first of all, I like to explain patterns of the mind. And that way we can learn how to work with our head and learn the patterns that our minds use instead of fighting against them and just like constantly hitting that brick wall over and over and over again. If we can actually understand the patterns of our mind, then we can start to work with them and start to shift the habits that keep causing us to hit those walls. So the one I want to talk about tonight is imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And this is in your mind, in my mind, everybody's mind. Doesn't matter who we're talking to. Imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And what that means is that if we have something in our head, doesn't mean if it's logical, doesn't mean if it makes sense or not. It doesn't matter. If it makes sense in our head and we're like, that is what's going to happen, that is the experience that I'm going to have, then you're absolutely correct. You're 100% right. It's going to happen that way, or it's going to be seen that way. You're going to have those feelings. And so the great thing about learning how to adjust it is if you're going to tell yourself, what if this happened? And what if that happened? Well, why don't you just start telling yourself a better lie? Tell yourself a better story of what could happen or what might happen. And so as an example, like I have kids, and there have been times where, they were supposed to be home at a certain time, or they were out with friends and didn't get a call, didn't know what was going on. Right. So now that there's that panic of like, oh my gosh, they're in the worst case scenario. And at that moment, as a parent or in that situation, I have to consciously choose to not let my imagination run, but to go with what is logical. It's a conscious choice to pick knowledge instead of picking imagination. Because if you just let it run rampant, you're going to go with imagination almost every single time. I heard this quote really, and I love it. And it says, we will pick familiar hell over unfamiliar heaven. And that, we just go with what's familiar. I've talked about this other times, and it's kind of leading into another pattern of the mind, but we like what is familiar. And so if you're constantly going with what is stressful and that what's intense all the time, that's what your body's going to know, and that's what it's going to go with. So tonight, I don't want to spend too much time talking about patterns of the mind because I really want to get into the hypnosis part of it. So tonight, I really wanted to work on trusting ourselves. And part of that trust is taking control of what is the knowledge, taking control of that logic in our life and being like, all right, I'm not going to go overboard with this imagination right now until I know that it's a fact, until I know it's happened, then I'll deal with it. Then I can go through whatever feelings I need to deal with and handle this. So tonight, I want to learn about trusting yourself, trusting our gut rather than just letting it go rampant. And the other thing is that a lot of times we get the habit of not trusting ourselves. We go to other people. What do you think? And what do you think? And what do you think I should do? And what do you think I should do? And a good majority of that causes even more problems or causes us to stay in a holding pattern because we just won't make a decision because now we're envisioning all the bad things that could happen, right? Like you're like, well, if I go this route, now this could happen. And so you're like, okay, I'm not going to go that route. So then you go, well, what if I go this route? Well, then that could happen. So, okay, I'm not going to go that route. What if I go back to this? Maybe I could tweak it. And I get it. It's wonderful to think of things and to have a plan. Like absolutely, I am a plan person. But the reality is if you don't just go and don't take action at some point, now you're stuck in this holding pattern of just wait, and nothing's going to get done. Okay. So if you've never done one of my hypnosis sessions, or you've never been on one of my lives, or you've never done this before, the biggest thing is to just relax and listen to my voice. And please, please, please do not do this if you're driving or if you're in a situation where you have to take care and be alert in some way, shape, or form. Come back to this. You can go back. They're all recorded, and you can go back to either my YouTube or the podcast. They're on both of those. So the next thing is definitely relax. When you're going through this, just listen to my voice. And, if you just kind of trust the process, going back to just trust the process and allow you to just finish and just keep practicing. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel a little awkward, but just trust that it's releasing and it's letting go and it's doing what it's right for you. Okay. So I want you to just make yourself comfortable, and I want you to look up into the ceiling as high as you possibly can. Now, that's not tilting up your head, but that is just literally looking up as high as you possibly can. And take a deep breath in and breathe out. And just take another deep breath in. And every time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. And breathe out. And just one last time, looking up, looking all the way up. Take a deep breath in. And hold it just slightly. But this time as you hold it and this time as you let go, I want you to, as you exhale, I want you to close your eyelids in and around your eyes. Your eyelids right now are starting to feel as if they are glued shut, sealed shut, locked tight. And just allow a drifting, floating feeling to come upon you. Just allow that relaxing feeling, letting everything slip away, drift away, float away. As you let the world just become unnoticeable, not caring. And you can let your eyes go wherever they want to go. Keep them closed, but just let your eyes go wherever they want to go and forget all about what's happening with your eyes. And as I count backwards from 10, you're going to see your feet, hear your feet, feel your feet making contact with each step as we go down 10 steps. And I want you to tilt your chin just slightly and get that looking down sensation as you can see those steps. You're moving on to step 10 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're moving on to step 9 as you can hear your feet, feel your feet making contact as you go deeper. You're moving on to step 7 as each sound, noise, and movement around you carries you further and further into hypnosis. You're moving on to step 6 as you go deeper with every heartbeat. You're moving on to step 5 and 4 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're moving on to step 3. You're moving on to step 2, just go deeper. You're moving on to step 1, just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper. And every baby comes onto the planet knowing that they're enough, feeling like they can have everything and they're amazing and that everything that they want is available to them. And at no point does a baby not trust their gut. At no point does a baby come onto this earth and go, I'm really hungry, but I don't want to inconvenience anybody, so I'll just wait. No, they want it now. They expect it now. And a baby trusts that it's going to be there. And they trust that because they scream and scream and scream. And we're going to go back to a time. I want you to go back, drift back when you were about 7, 8, somewhere around there, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. But I want you to go back to your childhood home where you slept, where you lived. I want you to pick the house that you feel the most comfortable, that most feels like home to you. I want you to go back to that home. I want you to open the door. I want you to walk through that house and go to where you slept. And as you go into that area where you slept, your room or wherever it was, I want you to go in and you see your little self. Again, you could be 6, 7, 8. Again, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. But you see yourself sitting there, and your child self sees you, and you both recognize each other, and you know who each of you are. And I want you to sit next to that child, and I want you to say, and look at that child, and ask them if they're happy. And if there's any hesitation, then that's definitely hesitation means something. And I want you to ask that child what makes them happy, what happens or what doesn't happen that makes them happy. But more importantly, what happens or doesn't happen that makes them sad. Maybe they feel unsafe. Maybe they feel unloved and invisible. They can't connect with anybody. Maybe they feel like their needs don't matter, or their needs are stupid or ridiculous. Everybody else's needs get met, but not theirs. And then I want you to ask this child, why don't they trust themselves? What is something that happened or has happened, or an event or feeling that happens that they don't trust themselves? They can't trust themselves. It's unsafe to trust yourself. Or it's ridiculous to trust yourself. And I want you to allow those feelings to come up. I want you to allow those feelings for them to be there, for you to feel them. And I want you to really look in, put a detective hat on and really concentrate, really understand, look in and around all of those feelings and understand why. Why don't you feel like you can trust yourself? And it's going to come back to you easily. You know it. You've always known it. You've always understood it. Maybe you've pushed it down. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable, but you've always known why. Maybe it was unsafe. Maybe nobody cared about you, so why nobody's ever going to care about you is the feeling that comes up. So as you allow these feelings to come up, and as you allow these feelings to really see light, that they've been shoved down, buried down, and they're there, they've been there for a while. I want you to really investigate it. I really want you to feel what those feelings are and allow yourself to feel those feelings. And then I want you to imagine, or I want you to tell your child self, looking at your child self, no matter what age it is, I want you to explain all the different ways that that's not you anymore. Those feelings that came up, those feelings that made you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Because if we're looking at it, you're probably a child, but you're not a child anymore. And that's not you anymore. Maybe somebody said something to you, but you don't have to listen to those people anymore. And people who say mean things probably didn't have a good life anyway. So we're not going to listen to those people anymore. We don't need their approval anymore because you're not a small child anymore. So we don't need their approval. We're not going to believe them because clearly if they said something, They're not a happy person. And I want you to list all the ways that that's not you anymore. You're not a child. You can create safe places if you create your own safety. You can do all the things and you can create all of the safe nets and get your needs met. You don't need anybody else now. I want you to name all the ways that that isn't you anymore. And then is what I want you to do is I want you to take your child self, take him by the hand, and I want you to go into your new home that you're in right now, the place that you're staying right now. I want you to show your child self all of the amazing things that you have. I want you to pull out your cell phone to this child, and I want you to show all the friends and the loved ones that you have, the people who love you, the people who make you feel safe. I want you to show them the business or the house or the job that you have. And you did that. You got that job. And you got your car. And you got your home. And you got your cell phone. And you're the one paying the bills. And you're the one doing it. And I want you to show this child all the amazing things that you have been able to do and create because you were the one that created it. You were the one that built it. And as you're showing this child, I want you to allow all those feelings to come up. And I want you to let go of all those feelings that you felt when you were feeling unsafe, or your needs weren't important, feeling like you can't connect, you can't be connected or loved by anybody. I want you to let go of those feelings. You can smash them, you can eradicate them, you can let them go, they can fly out the window, however it is that you want. But walk around, show this child, feeling it, knowing it, believing it, that you're the one that created this. You're the one that's starting to create this amazing life. And even if you look back, even if it hasn't been your way for a while, even if right today it wasn't perfect or it wasn't great, you can change that. Your beliefs are yours to change, and you're changing them right now. So as you're letting those go, as you're releasing them, as you're letting them go, as you're smashing, you're eradicating, you're eliminating all those beliefs, I want you to give that child self a big hug and tell them they can stay in your safe world, that you love them, that they're a part of you, that they're safe, that they're loved, they're connected, that you have all the abilities in your life to create an amazing life. And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to just throw all those negative beliefs out, all of those, any negative feelings that you're having, any negative feelings or any of those old or negative patterns, throw them out the window. They're erased, they're gone forever. They're not even important anymore. They're not even interesting anymore. Because yeah, you needed them as a little kid, but you don't need them as an adult. You're changing your thinking, and you're changing your wording, and you're changing the way that you speak to yourself. And you're now choosing to create an amazing life and create an amazing experience. You give your mind direction and instruction every day. And every day that you wake up, you're giving your mind the direction and the instruction that you're excited and that you have the power to create, to trust yourself, to believe in yourself. Because look at all you've created so far. Look at all that you have now. You're developing the most phenomenal skills. You have the most amazing ability to communicate your own mind and what you think. You have an amazing ability and phenomenal ability to create success, to create the work ethic that you want, to create the life that you want. So in a minute, I'm going to bring you back slowly and calmly. I'm going to bring you back to your full awareness. But before I do, I want you to imagine a life of success, a life of love, a life of calmness and peace and joy and happiness. Imagine that life and what it would look like. And any negative feelings that come up, they just erase away. They wash away, they drift away, they float away. Whatever works for you, they just wash away. And they can never come back again. Your success in every area is dependent on how you talk to yourself. And every day you wake up and you are your own cheerleader. You wake up feeling loved, feeling excited, feeling amazing, feeling energized. On the count of 5, feeling so peaceful and so calm, yet excited about your day, excited about your new full awareness. On the count of 4, feeling phenomenal and extraordinary. On the count of 3, feeling absolutely awake, feeling amazing about yourself and what you're creating. On the count of 2, just open up your eyes, and on the count of 1, take a deep breath and welcome back. Now, I know this can be a little overwhelming and it can be a lot sometimes, but I definitely, if you guys have any questions or you guys want to talk about your experience, definitely you can message me. I'm basic to bold all over social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And of course, if you want to listen to this again, I will definitely post it on my podcast so you can listen to this recording over again. And I hope you guys had an amazing time and would love, love, love to hear your guys' experiences. And hope you all have an amazing, amazing night.